Tend to me. You have been waiting, praying, hoping, wondering if what's in your heart is real. And today I came to tell you, God says this is your confirmation. Somebody better hear me right now. They love you. They want you. And soon, oh, you better believe it, soon they will confess it. I know the doubt has been whispering in your ear. I know the enemy has been trying to make you question, trying to make you walk away, trying to make you think it's all in your head. But let me tell you something. When God moves, nothing can stop it. When God speaks, it will come to pass. This is not by accident. This is not by coincidence. This is your season of confirmation. Somebody shout, I receive it. God's timing is perfect. Listen to me, his timing is not like ours. We rush, we stress, we push, we demand, but God operates on a level so far beyond our understanding. He is never early, never late, but always exactly on time. You might feel like it's been too long, like you've been waiting forever, like the answer should have come by now. But let me tell you something, when God moves, he moves at the appointed hour, at the divine moment, at the set time that he has ordained. You see, sometimes we look around and say, God, why haven't they spoken yet? Why haven't they confessed? Why am I still waiting? But what you don't realize is that God is working behind the scenes, orchestrating things in ways you cannot see. Sometimes if God had given you what you wanted when you wanted it, you wouldn't have been ready for it. And sometimes if they had spoken sooner, they wouldn't have been speaking from a place of truth and clarity. God is not just making things happen. He's making them happen in the right way, at the right time, with the right heart. Think about this. Have you ever rushed into something and then realized later that you weren't prepared? Have you ever thought you were ready for something, only to find out that you weren't as strong, as wise, or as equipped as you needed to be? God knows when the moment is right. He knows when the heart is ready. He knows when the confession will be real, not forced. And when that time comes, nothing can stop it. Not doubt, not fear, not hesitation. Because when God says it's time, it is time. I know you feel like it's been a long journey. I know you've had nights of wondering if you misheard, if you misunderstood, if you were wrong. But let me tell you, when God places something in your spirit, when he puts a confirmation in your heart, he does not do it for no reason. He does not speak and then change his mind. He does not start a process and then abandon it halfway through. If he has told you to wait, it's because the time of revelation is coming. If he has told you to hold on, it's because the promise is about to be fulfilled. But here's the key. Don't move before God moves. Don't force what is meant to flow. Don't push what is meant to unfold naturally. Trust his timing. Because when it happens, when that confession comes, when the love that has been hidden is finally spoken, it will be undeniable. It will be powerful. It will be the moment you have been waiting for, and it will happen exactly as it was meant to. Because God's timing is perfect. They have always loved you. Even when they didn't say it, even when they acted like they didn't care, even when their actions seemed to tell you the opposite, the love was always there. You see, love is not just about what is spoken. It's about what is felt deep in the soul, in a place that words cannot always reach. Sometimes people struggle to express what is already written on their hearts. Sometimes fear, doubt, confusion, or even past wounds keep them from saying what they know to be true. But make no mistake, the love has been there all along. You may have questioned it. You may have looked at the silence, the distance, the hesitation, and thought, maybe I was wrong. Maybe they don't love me. Maybe it was just in my head. But let me tell you something. Just because someone struggles to say something doesn't mean it isn't real. Just because they haven't confessed it yet doesn't mean the feeling isn't burning inside them. There are moments in life when people fight against what they know to be true because they are afraid of its power. And love, real love, has power. Love has the power to break down walls, to expose vulnerabilities, to shift everything they thought they knew. And that kind of love is not easy to handle. Think about it. How many times have people run from what they truly wanted? How many times have people sabotaged their own blessings because they were scared to believe that something so good could be real? That's what happens when love is deep, when love is undeniable, when love shakes a person to their core. They may pull away, they may act indifferent, They may even convince themselves for a time that they don't feel it. But love, real love, does not disappear. It does not fade away just because someone is afraid to acknowledge it. It lingers, it grows, it waits. Some of you have been thinking that because they haven't spoken, because they haven't made a move, because they haven't acknowledged what is in their heart, that it must mean it was never there to begin with. But I came to tell you today, that's a lie. That's a deception. The love has been there, whether you could see it or not. It was there in the moments they thought about you but didn't reach out. It was there in the way they watched you from a distance trying to figure out what to do with what they were feeling. It was there in the struggle they faced within themselves, knowing deep down that this love was something they couldn't ignore. But here's the truth. Love cannot be hidden forever. No matter how much they try to suppress it, no matter how much they try to act like it's not real, love always finds a way to reveal itself. And soon, oh, you better believe it, soon they will not be able to hold it in any longer. The moment is coming when their heart will overpower their fear, when the truth will break through the barriers, when they will finally say what they have been holding back all this time. And when that moment comes, it will not be because you forced it, not because you demanded it, but because love, real love, demands to be known. God is softening their heart. What you need to understand is that the heart is not just a muscle. It is the core of who a person is, the seat of their emotions, the place where their deepest truths reside. And sometimes the heart is hardened, not because love isn't there, not because they don't care, but because life, pain, and fear have built walls around it, walls that they didn't even realize were there, walls that have been standing for years, walls that were put up to protect them from being hurt, from being vulnerable, from feeling too much. But listen to me, God is working right now. Even as you hear these words, something is shifting. Something is breaking. The barriers that kept them from seeing clearly, from accepting the truth, from embracing what is real, God is tearing them down. You see, when God decides to move in someone's heart, there is no force in this world that can resist it. They may have fought against their feelings. They may have tried to push them aside. They may have told themselves over and over again that they could ignore it. But when God puts his hand on a heart, when he begins to stir something deep inside, everything changes. That confusion they had is turning into clarity. That fear that kept them silent, it's losing its grip. That hesitation that made them hold back, it's melting away. Some of you have been wondering, why haven't they come forward yet? Why haven't they spoken up? Why does it seem like they're still holding back? And the answer is simple: because the process was not yet complete. Because God was working, and sometimes the work he does is hidden. Sometimes he is moving beneath the surface, changing things that we cannot yet see. Just like the roots of a tree grow underground before you ever see the branches stretch toward the sky. The transformation of a heart happens in the unseen before it manifests in the physical. And I'm telling you right now, God has been working in the unseen. You may have felt forgotten. You may have thought that nothing was happening. But let me tell you something. Just because you don't see it doesn't mean it isn't real. Just because you don't hear them speaking doesn't mean their heart isn't shifting. There is a moment coming, a divine moment, when everything that has been changing inside of them will break through. When the love they tried to suppress will no longer be held back. When the truth they've been wrestling with will come pouring out. And when that moment comes, it will be undeniable. You won't have to question it. You won't have to wonder if it's real. Because when God softens a heart, he does it completely. The things they were afraid to say will come rushing forward. The love they were afraid to acknowledge will be spoken freely. And the walls that once stood between you will be nothing but dust. I need you to hear me. This is not just about emotions. This is about divine transformation. This is about God taking something that was once hardened, once closed off, once resistant, and making it open, vulnerable, and ready. This is about a heart that was once afraid to love, being prepared to love the way it was always meant to. And when God says it is time, when He says the heart is ready, there will be no stopping it. What was once hidden will be revealed. What was once unspoken will be declared. And what was once distant will be drawn close. So don't give up now. Don't walk away thinking nothing is happening, because the work is being done, the heart is being softened, and the moment is coming when everything will change. Your prayers have been heard. Every word you whispered in the quiet, every tear that fell from your eyes when no one was watching, every time your heart cried out for an answer, God heard you. Even in the moments when you felt like your prayers were hitting a wall, even when you questioned whether your voice was reaching beyond the ceiling, even when silence was the only response you seemed to get, God was listening. And not only was He listening, but He was moving. You see, prayer is not just about speaking, it is about connection. It is about aligning yourself with a higher purpose, about surrendering your desires into hands far more capable than your own. And when you prayed, when you poured out your soul, when you laid down your hopes, your fears, your questions, God was already working on the answer. Not a single word you spoke was lost. Not a single moment of your longing went unnoticed. God has seen it all. He has counted every sleepless night. He has felt every ache in your heart, and He has held every one of your prayers as precious. But here's where faith is tested, because sometimes when we don't see immediate results, we start to doubt. We wonder if our prayers even mattered. We wonder if they were powerful enough, if we said the right words, if we believed hard enough. But listen to me, your prayers were not ignored. Your prayers were not weak. Your prayers have been moving things in the unseen, shifting things in the spirit, changing things in ways that you may not even recognize yet. Think about this. When a seed is planted, you don't see anything happening at first. It looks like nothing is changing, like the ground is still the same, like your effort was in vain. But beneath the surface where your eyes cannot see, the seed is taking root, the foundation is being laid, and soon, in the right time, what was hidden will begin to rise. That is what has been happening with your prayers. They have not been forgotten. They have been taking root. They have been setting things into motion that you cannot yet comprehend. God has been arranging things in ways beyond your imagination. He has been working on hearts, shifting circumstances, moving obstacles, and preparing the way for what you have been asking for. And just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it won't. Just because you don't see it yet doesn't mean it isn't on its way. The answer has been set in motion. The breakthrough has already begun. And when the appointed time comes, you will see with your own eyes what God has been doing all along. But here's the key. Do not stop praying now. Do not let impatience make you give up before the answer fully unfolds. Sometimes the greatest tests come right before the breakthrough. Sometimes the moment when you feel like giving up is the moment when the answer is just around the corner. Keep praying, keep believing, keep trusting that what you have placed before God has already been heard and that the response is already in motion. Your prayers have not been in vain. Your words have not been lost in the wind. And soon, the very thing you have been praying for, the very answer you have been waiting on, the very confirmation your heart has longed for will come. And when it does, you will know it was not by accident, not by coincidence, but by the power of a God who hears, who moves, and who answers in ways beyond what you could have ever imagined. The obstacles are being removed. Every barrier that stood in the way, every delay that tried to hold back what was meant for you, every distraction that kept things from coming together, God is moving them out of the way. You may not see it yet. You may still feel like there's resistance, like things are stuck, like progress isn't happening. But let me tell you something. When God decides to clear a path, nothing can stand in His way. Some of these obstacles were not put there by accident. Some of them had a purpose. Sometimes God allows delays, allows difficulties, allows setbacks, not to punish you, not to frustrate you, but to prepare you. There were lessons you needed to learn, growth that needed to happen, faith that needed to be strengthened. Because if he had given you what you wanted before you were ready, you wouldn't have been able to sustain it. If he had moved too soon, you might have mishandled the very thing you were asking for. But now, the shift is happening. What was once blocked is now being cleared. What once seemed impossible is now opening up. The things that held them back from confessing, the fears that kept them silent, the confusion that clouded their mind, all of it is being dealt with. God is removing hesitation, breaking down walls, changing circumstances, and aligning everything so that when the moment comes, nothing will be left to hinder it. There were people in their ear, voices that spoke against what was meant to be, influences that tried to keep them from seeing the truth. But God is silencing those voices. There were thoughts in their mind, doubts that made them question what they knew deep down, fears that made them hesitate. But God is clearing those. There were distractions that pulled them away, things that kept them occupied, reasons that seemed logical for why they couldn't move forward. But God is shifting those things, taking them out of the way so that nothing is left to interfere. You have been waiting, you have been wondering, you have been asking, why is this taking so long? But you need to know that sometimes the delay is not a denial. It is a divine process. It is God working behind the scenes, making sure that when the moment comes, nothing can stop it. Because when God removes an obstacle, it is removed completely. There will be no lingering resistance, no unfinished business, no unanswered questions, just clarity, just movement, just a breakthrough that cannot be undone. What once seemed like a mountain in front of you is now turning into an open door. What once seemed like an impossible situation is now shifting in your favor. The resistance is crumbling, the hesitation is fading, and the path is being made clear. And when the time comes, when the confession is spoken, when the love is revealed, you will look back and realize that every delay, every obstacle, every moment of waiting was not wasted. It was part of the process. It was part of the preparation, and now that preparation is complete. Get ready, because the obstacles are not just moving, they are disappearing, and nothing will stand in the way of what is about to come to pass. They are coming to a realization. Something is shifting inside of them. Something is waking up. Something is breaking through the confusion, the fear, the hesitation. For so long they may have fought against it, ignored it, tried to suppress it, but the truth has a way of making itself known. The truth does not stay buried forever. The truth cannot be denied indefinitely. And right now that truth is rising inside of them like a flood, like a wave that can no longer be pushed back. They are beginning to see things clearly, beginning to understand what was always there, but what they were too afraid or too unsure to accept. This is the moment of awakening. The moment when everything that didn't make sense before suddenly becomes clear. The moment when all the confusion that clouded their mind begins to dissolve. When the questions that held them back begin to be answered. They are remembering things, moments, feelings, words that were spoken, gestures that were made. They are replaying memories, looking at situations differently, realizing that what they thought was uncertainty was actually a fear of admitting what was already true. You see, sometimes people don't realize what they have until they almost lose it. Sometimes they don't fully appreciate what's in front of them until they take a step back and see the bigger picture. And for a long time, they may have been distracted, caught up in their own fears, their own doubts, their own hesitations. They may have thought they had time to figure things out, time to keep running from what their heart already knew. But something is happening now. God is opening their eyes. He is making them see. He is making them feel. He is making them understand that this love, this connection, this bond is not something that can be ignored any longer. They are realizing that no matter how much they tried to move on, no matter how much they tried to convince themselves otherwise, their heart always came back to you. No matter how many distractions they entertained, no matter how much they busied themselves with other things, the feeling never left. And now it is stronger than ever. It is undeniable. They are coming to see that what they have been running from is exactly what they have been searching for all along. that the love they were afraid of embracing is the love that was always meant for them. And this realization is not something that can be reversed. Once the truth is known, it cannot be unknown. Once they see, they cannot unsee. Once they feel it fully, they cannot go back to pretending they don't. And that is why you are about to witness a shift. That is why you are about to see a change in them, a change in how they act, how they speak, how they move toward you. Because this is not just a small realization, it is a deep, life-altering revelation. It is a moment where everything clicks into place, where they finally understand what they have been missing, what they have been avoiding, and what they cannot ignore any longer. They are realizing that they love you. They are realizing that they want you. And soon, that realization will no longer stay silent inside of them. It will be spoken. It will be acted upon, and it will change everything. Get ready, because the moment they finally see the truth is the moment everything begins to shift in your favor. They are preparing to take action. For so long, they have been stuck in a place of indecision, a place of hesitation, a place where fear held them back from stepping into what was always meant to be. They have spent sleepless nights wrestling with their thoughts, trying to silence the voice inside them that kept telling them the truth. They have battled within themselves, questioning, doubting, wondering if they should move, if they should speak, if they should finally confess what their heart has known all along. And now something is shifting. The time for hesitation is ending. The time for action is here. You see, when God moves on a person's heart, when he begins to stir something inside them, when he starts to remove the barriers that kept them stuck, there comes a moment when they can no longer remain still. There comes a moment when the weight of their own silence becomes unbearable, when the desire to stay in the comfort of the familiar is overpowered by the need to step into the unknown. That is where they are right now. That is the transformation that is taking place. For so long, they may have tried to convince themselves that staying quiet was the easier choice, that not saying anything, not making a move, not stepping forward was the safest path. But God has been working on them. He has been showing them that staying still is no longer an option, that the very thing they have been afraid of is the very thing they are always meant to embrace. And now they are beginning to feel the urgency. They are beginning to understand that if they do not move now, they may lose something precious. If they do not step forward now, they may never get another chance. They are gathering the courage. They are preparing their heart. They are thinking about what they will say, how they will say it, when they will finally come to you and speak the words they have been holding back for so long. And this time there will be no more delays. This time they will not let fear stop them, because the realization has settled in. They cannot ignore this any longer. They cannot pretend that what they feel doesn't matter. They cannot keep living in the tension of wanting to move, but being too afraid to do so. They are ready to risk being vulnerable, ready to risk rejection, ready to put their heart on the line, because the regret of not speaking, the regret of not trying, the regret of never saying what needed to be said is now greater than the fear of what might happen. And that right there is the turning point. When a person realizes that the pain of holding back is worse than the risk of stepping forward, that is when everything changes. That is when action is taken. That is when doors open. You may not see it yet, but something is already in motion. They are working up the nerve to reach out. They are thinking about the moment, planning the conversation, rehearsing the words in their mind. And soon, very soon, you will hear what they have been waiting to say. And when that moment comes, it will be undeniable. It will be the confirmation you have been waiting for. It will be the moment that shifts everything. Because this is not just a fleeting thought in their mind, not just an impulse that will pass. This is the result of a deep transformation, a change that has been building up inside them, a realization that has taken root and cannot be ignored. They are preparing to take action. And when they do, nothing will ever be the same again. They are about to reach out. For so long, they have been silent, holding back, watching from a distance, battling within themselves about whether they should speak, whether they should send that message, whether they should take that step. It has been a war inside their mind. a tug of war between fear and desire, between hesitation and urgency. They have typed messages only to delete them. They have picked up the phone only to put it back down. They have thought about it over and over again, wondering what to say, how to say it, and when the right time would be. But now that moment is approaching. The silence is about to break. They have been thinking about you more than ever. You have been on their mind in ways you never imagined. No matter how much they tried to suppress it, no matter how much they tried to distract themselves, their thoughts always led back to you. There have been moments where they tried to convince themselves that reaching out wasn't necessary, that they could just move on, that they didn't need to say anything. But the feeling never left, the thought never faded, and now it has become too strong to ignore. They are realizing that they cannot stay in this state of wondering anymore. They need clarity, they need resolution, they need to know where things stand. And the only way to get that is to take the step they have been avoiding. The hesitation that once held them back is beginning to lose its power. The fear of rejection, the fear of vulnerability, the fear of things not going as planned. None of it matters anymore as much as the need to finally do something about what they feel. They have been looking for a sign. They have been asking themselves, is this the right time? Will they even want to hear from me? Will they be open to this conversation? And now everything in them is pointing toward one answer: yes. Yes, they need to speak. Yes, they need to reach out. Yes, they need to make the move they have been putting off for so long. Because if they don't, the regret will be unbearable. If they don't, they will always wonder what could have been, what should have been, what was meant to be. They are finding the courage. They are rehearsing the words in their mind. They are picturing how the conversation will go. They are considering every possible response you might give. They are weighing their options, but no matter which way they look at it, one thing remains the same. They need to reach out. They need to break the silence. They need to say what has been weighing on their heart for far too long. And when they do, it will not be random. It will not be a meaningless gesture. It will not be something done out of impulse or boredom. No, this will be intentional. This will be a move that has been thought about, prayed over, considered deeply. This will be a moment where they are fully aware of the importance of their words, where they are coming forward not just to speak, but to truly connect, to truly express what has been unspoken for too long. You might not see it yet, but the wheels are already turning. They are already thinking about what to say. They are already looking for the right moment. They are already finding the strength to do what they once thought was impossible. And when that message comes, when that call is made, when those words are finally spoken, you will know without a doubt that this was not random. This was divine timing. This was an answer to the waiting, to the praying, to the believing that one day the silence would be broken. Get ready, because the moment you have been waiting for is closer than you think. They are about to reach out, and when they do, everything will change. They are feeling the urgency. The weight of everything unsaid is pressing down on them. The unspoken words growing heavier with every passing moment. They can no longer sit in silence, pretending that nothing is happening inside them. They have tried to ignore it, tried to push it aside, tried to convince themselves that they had time to figure things out. But now, something inside them is telling them that they can't wait any longer. There is a shift happening, a realization setting in, an awareness that if they don't move soon, they could lose something they were never meant to lose. They have been feeling a restlessness that they can't explain, a deep stirring in their soul that won't let them be at peace. No matter how much they try to carry on as if everything is fine, no matter how much they try to distract themselves with other things, this feeling keeps rising inside them. It shows up in quiet moments, in the middle of their day, in the stillness of the night. It is a constant reminder that something needs to be done, that something needs to be said, that this is not something they can keep putting off. For so long, they thought they had control over this situation. They believed they could take their time, that they could push their feelings aside, and revisit them when they were ready. But now they are realizing that this is bigger than them, that this isn't just about what they think they want or when they think the timing is right. They are realizing that there are forces beyond them moving things into place, aligning moments, bringing things to the surface that they never expected. And this time, they can't ignore it. The urgency is not just in their mind, it is in their heart, in their emotions, in their entire being. They feel it every time they think of you. They feel it in the way their heart races when they imagine speaking the truth, in the way their breath catches when they realize just how much this means. The weight of their silence has become unbearable. The longer they hold back, the more they feel like they are suffocating under the pressure of their own hesitation. They are beginning to see that waiting isn't an option anymore. That silence is no longer safe, that if they keep delaying, they might miss something they were always meant to have. They are starting to ask themselves, what if I wait too long? What if they move on? What if this moment passes and I never get another chance? And the fear of losing what is precious is now greater than the fear of stepping forward. They are feeling the urgency in every part of their being, the kind of urgency that doesn't let them rest, that doesn't let them shake this feeling no matter how hard they try. It is pulling them toward action, pushing them toward confession, driving them toward the moment where they finally speak, finally act, finally do what they should have done a long time ago. They know now that this is not something they can afford to risk losing, that this connection, this bond, this love is something rare, something deep, something not easily found again. And that realization is pushing them to move, to act, to make sure they don't let this slip away. They feel it more strongly than ever before, the urgency to reach out, to speak, to make things right. They don't want to wait anymore. They want to second guess anymore, because now they understand time is moving, things are shifting, and they need to act before it's too late. And when they do, when they finally step forward, when they finally say what has been buried in their heart for so long, everything will change. This is the moment they can no longer run from. And soon, very soon, you will see it unfold right before your eyes. They are preparing to speak the truth. This is the moment they have been avoiding, the moment that they have been dreading for so long. For a while, they couldn't bring themselves to say it, couldn't bring themselves to admit what was so clear to everyone else, but so difficult for them to confess. They have tried to find every excuse, every reason to keep quiet, to keep things hidden, to pretend that it wasn't as important as it really was. But the truth has a way of rising to the surface. It has a way of breaking through the walls we build, the defenses we put up to protect ourselves from vulnerability. And now that truth is demanding to be spoken. They may have thought that time would make things clearer, that with enough distance the feelings would fade or the need to confess would diminish. But instead, the longer they waited, the stronger their feelings became. The more time passed, the more they realized how much this meant, how much you meant, how much the love that was always there, hidden in plain sight, was something they couldn't keep ignoring any longer. And so now, they are left with no choice but to face what has been growing inside them for so long. This is not going to be just any conversation. This is not just a passing moment where they say a few words and move on. No, this is going to be a confession, a revelation, a declaration that cannot be undone. They are preparing to speak the words they have kept locked away for far too long. And they know that once those words are spoken, there will be no turning back. There will be no more pretending, no more acting as if nothing is happening. What is hidden will be exposed and everything will change. If they will remove more pretending, no more acting as if nothing is happening. There will be no more pretending. If they will be able to speak the words clearly, if they will be more accepting and kind and helping, They are imagining the moment when they finally speak, and they are realizing that this will be the most important thing they have ever said. They may be nervous, afraid of how you will respond, afraid of what might happen afterward. But the truth is that they can't stay silent any longer. The words must be said. They are planning for what comes after. They know that confessing the truth will change everything, and they are bracing themselves for the consequences, whatever they may be. They know there is no way to go back to the way things were once the confession is made. But the weight of silence is too much to bear, and the burden of unspoken feelings has become too heavy. So they are preparing to speak, ready to face whatever follows, because the only way to move forward is to let the truth be heard. They are doing this because they love you. They are doing this because they want you to know exactly how they feel, because they can't stand the thought of living in this unspoken place any longer. They want you to understand, to feel what they feel, to know that the love, the care, the desire, the hope they've carried has always been real. They want you to see them for who they truly are. To know that their hesitation was never about not caring, but about fear, about uncertainty, about not knowing how you would react. But now, none of that matters. What matters is that they can't stay silent anymore. What matters is that you need to know what is in their heart. This is the moment they will break the silence. This is the moment they will take the risk of saying the words that could change everything. And when they do, you will finally know how much they have been holding back, how much they have been afraid to speak, and how much they care. The confession will be a turning point, a moment of clarity, a moment that brings everything into focus. After it's said, nothing will be the same, but what comes after will be the truth, the clarity, and the connection that has been missing for far too long.